Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world after having put together our Hellhammer setup here in our new blacksmith, and I have not made any more plates since last episode, but I am cooling some molybdochalcos ingots for future lanterns. Now, it is still Infrastructure Week, and so today will be the last look, at least for now, into the mechanization aspect of Vintage Story. And to conclude Infrastructure Week, we are going to look at the Pulverizer, which I want to situate somewhere in this tower here. I'm thinking either on the second floor, or maybe down here with the quern, whenever we get enough resin to actually do that. Speaking of resin, I have not actually gone and harvested it because it actually hadn't been long enough until just now, I think. So that will happen today. But I wanted to start out by sort of figuring out where we're going to go with this pulverizer. The pulverizer is used for crushing things into basically sandy bits that are used for different purposes. Now, at our current technology level, which is the Bronze Age, we can only make pulverizers that crush certain things. Let's see if I have any of them. Here we go. So we can crush soft minerals like lapis lazuli. We can also crush things like Cinnabar, and we can crush things like alum and tin, but we can't crush harder things like chromium and quartz and bauxite. Those last two are used for making very heat-resistant bricks that we will need for entering the Steel Age, but we aren't quite there yet. In fact, we're not anywhere near there yet. So the main purpose of the pulverizer at this time is going to be for making dyes, which is just as well because there are some clothes that I would like to get. This is the Reindeer Herder fur coat, and it is notably warmer than our current coat because this has a maximum warmth of 4 degrees Celsius, whereas our current coat has a maximum warmth of 2 degrees Celsius. So I want to take this episode to focus on maxing out, finally, our resistance to cold. Because we still shiver a lot during winter and use up a lot more food, and I would like to minimize that as much as possible. Also, let's face it, this fur coat is going to be stylish. Now this fur coat is going to require some red dye, which is one of the harder dyes to get your hands on. A lot of dyes have multiple different sources for the color. The blue dye that we made from the woad can be made from woad and water or lapis lazuli and diluted alum, tin, or chromite. We can get green dye just from using grass. We can get yellow and orange dye from onions. We can get gray and black dye from metal scraps or from rusty gears. But red dye only comes from crushed cinnabar. And we don't have any of this yet. I've been keeping an eye out for it at the Treasure Hunter Trader and a couple other places, but it has not come across their stock yet. So we're going to have to go out and get it ourselves. Now, luckily, we do have a decent lead on some cinnabar, which occurs in relatively small veins. But up here near our original Amazing Cave, which was one of the first caves we explored, we have some poor cinnabar at 0.3 per meal absolute. That's not super high, but that's also decently high for cinnabar. Now we have some 0.2 per meal over here, so I'm thinking in this area, maybe even toward the center of it, we might find slightly higher concentrations of it, and if not, we'll just take a look at this 0.3 area here. So I'm going to start this episode off by going on a bit of a mining adventure. I'm also going to go up north to our former home area because I think we found some potential alum up here. Yeah, we have some minuscule amounts of alum, and I think if we were to dig around here, we might find that there is a larger node, maybe at the center of these three here. Maybe right in here could be some higher alum. So we'll take a look at that. And the reason we want alum is that although we can use crushed chromite and crushed tin to make our dyes, the alum is much more efficient at it. Also, we can't crush chromite because we need a much higher power pulverizer and a much stronger pickaxe. So, without further ado, I'm going to gather my pickaxes, I'm going to get some more food, probably bring a few chests with me too, and we're going to head off in search of some cinnabar and possibly some alum. Let's get moving. Okay, so here we are up in Wolf Country, which apparently is where all the cinnabar resides. I mean, I figure it's red dye. We have the blood of our previous selves running down into the earth and turning it red, right? That's how it works. Well, I'm going to take a sample here, and if it's significantly higher than the 0.3, then we will certainly dig here. Otherwise, I'm just going to turn back to the 0.3 areas. Poor Cinnabar, 0.3%. I think this is probably about as good as we're going to get. So let's just pick a spot, and we're going to dig down here. So we're about in one specific quadrant of the chunk that we're in, and we're going to get to it. We'll start about here. I'll just block this off. Now, Cinnabar is only found in a couple different kinds of rock. We have basalt, peridotite, phyllite, slate, andesite, and granite. So we can find it here in the slate layer, although I don't think we're likely to. However, granite is right beneath our feet too. So we're going to dig down, we're going to take a big old core sample right here, and we're going to go down in every about 12 or so blocks. We're going to use the Pro Pick to search out in all directions and see if we can come across any Cinnabar. And we'll start right here. Nothing. Didn't think we would, but just to be safe. Okay, let's get started. And I guess it would have been smart to bring the rope ladders, but I didn't. Hey, there we go. Verified small amounts of Cinnabar. Now you'll see how deep we are. We are exceedingly deep in the ground. So we're going to be on the lookout for some of the worst drifters, and we're going to put some lights down here to help keep that down, but we will see just how bad it gets. So that was in this direction. So let's go ahead and we'll do this. We're going to light the crap out of this place. There we go. So we're going to work our way towards that, and I'm going to use my super awesome stone sonar abilities. I just mean I'm going to be playing the hot-cold game with the Pro Pick again, and we will see what we find. Oh, hey, bismuth. I'll grab some of that too, why not? And the scary music begins. Okay, oh, very large amounts of Cinnabar. Okay. I will take it. I will absolutely take it. This should still be very large amounts. Okay, so I'm going to go out here, and we're going to look left and right and up and down. And I am just putting these stones down to help keep any drifters away from here. And more importantly, things like bells. We do not want to encounter any bells. Let's look in these directions. Large amounts. Very large amounts. Okay. And very large amounts. So we might be right at the edge of it here. So let's look up and down and we'll see what we find. Not up, so it is not within 8 blocks of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be down a few blocks most likely. And let's try looking down. Oh, we have andesite down here. Interesting. Very large amounts of Cinnabar. Okay. We are about at the bottom of the world here, but let's keep digging. It could be as low as the very bottom. And there it is. Oh, this is cool looking. Wow, I like it. I'm going to make sure that everything up here is well lit. I'm going to plop a torch here. We're going to start digging up this Cinnabar. That's exciting. And we're going to leave here in a few minutes just to go and restore our temporal stability. But first I'm going to pick up just a few of these. And maybe relieve this guy right here, because he's sort of standing out like a sore thumb. Seems like the perfect candidate to be relieved. And yeah, we're getting the extra scary music, so let's head back up. So we will come right back down, and we will keep mining that out in just a minute. Okay, we are back. Our stability is back up. Since I wasn't expecting to hit Cinnabar on our first shaft, I put away some of the adventuring supplies that we brought with us initially. And just in case, I brought a bed in case it's really dark out and we need to run home at night and there's like drifters all around, so there is that. And yes, I think our slabbing, our stoning, served us well. So, let's get to work. And here we are at the mantle. This is rock that requires a tool of tier 196 to break. I think we're a ways away from that. Okay, I think that might be it. I'm going to check all of the corners here and see if there's anything else interesting in the area. And then, if not, we will start heading back up. Okay, I'm not too fussed about trace amounts, so we're going to go ahead and pick up our torches, and we're going to head out. And I'm going to steal a little bit of this bismuth and peridotite and take it home with us. Well, that was the world's smallest bismuthinite deposit. Let's get out of here. Well, we made it home safe and sound, and we have our spoils. I think I'm putting them, yes, in here. So we got almost 2 stacks of Cinnabar, and that should do us for a while. Now, I did already pick up some alum. The commodities trader nearby had it for way too much money. It was, I think this 24 was like 10 or 12 gears. It was gross. Our next job is we want to get some more alum because we need basically 4 alum per 2 of these, and that will make 4 liters of dye. Now we don't need a whole lot of red dye, but I want to make some other things, so I want to go and get some more alum so we have something substantial to work with. As an added bonus, since we have picked up alum on the Pro Pick up here, we can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We can go and gather the resin that we need for the Pulverizer, and maybe even for our 4th Hellhammer, as well as for finding the alum that might be lurking up here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to empty my inventory, I'm going to pack up and maybe get a little more food, check on my tools. I think I need more pickaxes, and then we will head out. Well, here we are up in slate and pine territory. I'm going to go ahead and collect all of our resin, and then we're going to start prospecting around, possibly waiting until morning, and we will see if we can find some more alum, because I want to get more of that. Oh boy, that's a wolf. There it is. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Go away. I might just stay the night over in our old base, just to get past the medium activity day. Okay, it's the next day. It is a calm day, which is perfect. But I still hear growly boys. We're going to head back down here to about the area where we think the alum is, and we'll start digging around. Oh, I know where I am. This is that really cool cave we wanted to check out. Yeah. That will happen eventually. Let's see what we have on the Pro Pick. So we have some alum here, and some to the south of us, and some to the southeast. So let's go right in between the two, and we'll dig a couple small holes, and then just sort of prospect in them. Maybe even in the bottom of this lake. So still minuscule amounts of alum. So, oh, we didn't go very far. Let's go a little farther, more like this area. Still minuscule amounts, okay. So, let's see. Maybe we should be going more like out here instead. Let's try that. Let's go out this way instead. We could even, if we don't find any here, go just north of our old base, because I think that's a big shale area. And shale is one of the stones that you can find alum in. That's why we don't want to go to the slate area, because you cannot find alum in slate, even though they're both sedimentary. You know, let's try right here. Why not? Still minuscule. We'll just keep poking around until we find what we want. Maybe this mountain. Or maybe not, because I think this is slate. Yeah, we're probably not going to find any up here. Because we have slate, and then immediately beneath we have andesite. So yeah, this is going to be a bad spot for it. But I'm still going to take a sample, just to see what's here. Nothing is here. At least that narrows our search a bit. And it might just be that there is a very small amount scattered throughout the area, or not at all. Well, I haven't found any alum yet, but on the pro pick, I did pick up huge amounts of anthracite. And anthracite is a higher grade of coal than brown coal, which we've been using for smelting a lot of copper and stuff. So I might pick up at least some of this just to bring back with us for inspection, as well as maybe a sample, although our inventory is getting kind of clogged here. But I probably won't get all of it because I want to have enough inventory space for some alum, if we ever find that one. I have been looking for a while now, and as you can see, we have a veritable freckly face of pro-pick readings here with just minuscule alum and nothing else. So I'm going to grab some of this, and I'll get back on the search and get back with you if I find some alum. Okay, so I kind of lied. There was a lot of anthracite down here, and I also found something else while looking around, and that is, well, brown coal for one, but also a locust nest. So I think we need to give that a look and see what there is to see here. We're just going to let the water wash these guys down while we try to steal their spoils, if possible. Hey guys. Got him. I think there's still one more down there. And we are decently far, but we're still getting these surface drifters, which is kind of unusual. Just going to build out here, and we will take out this guy the cheesy way. Yeah. Generate all you want. Oh. Whole bunch of lapis. Nice. What are you doing down here? Okay, well, let's put down a ladder here. After we break this. Well, now, ain't this interesting? Ooh. Don't like the water there. Let's just take what we're here for. What are you? Shell gravel? No thanks. And I would like my arrows back. Thank you. Oh man. What's down here? Nothing. And we will just pick this up, and let's go and bundle everything up. Give that raccoon a good scare. And we'll get out of here for now. And we'll resume our search for the mythical, fabled alum. Okay, so it looks like the alum search up here might be a bit of a bust, because I spent a while down in some shell caves, poking around with the pro pick, and I found a whole ton of coal of all different kinds. We've got a lot of brown coal, a lot of anthracite, and a little bit of black coal, and I picked some up so that we can make some more bombs in the future, and I've marked several places where we have coal so I can come back and get some more later. But I even ranged pretty far up north to above our old house and couldn't even pick up any alum on the pro pick, so I'm going to call it a bust. I don't think there's any alum in the area at all. We're going to have to just make do with the 24 pieces we have and be a bit frugal with them, but we do have a couple alternatives that we can fall back on if need be. So I'm going to get all this home and unload my inventory, and once I have everything ready to put together the pulverizer, I'll bring y'all back and we will get that done. Okay, we are back home. My inventory is ready. Let's get to it. So I want to put the pulverizer in this area, not necessarily on this floor, but I'm thinking maybe below here, because I kind of want to do the same for the corn, and I kind of started putting the corn input here with its downward tube, just to see, oh hello boys, just to see if I could fit it maybe above the gear here, and I think we can. So what we're going to do is branch off of this gear, and we'll come up here for the quern, and we will go over and up and then over again for the pulverizer. Now, the pulverizer itself is actually fairly simple. It's not a particularly complex machine as far as parts go, and the only reason we needed resin was so that we could build gears to hook it up. So we're going to build the parts, and we're just going to stick them into this chest, and here we go. So we need 2 pulverizer pounders, and that, as I recall, is made like so. We need 2 of these, and I don't think they stack. No, they do not. That's the first thing. The next thing is we need the pulverizer toggle, and for that we're going to need a plate of at least brass quality, and I think I made one a long time ago. Yes, that is lucky. I made 2 by accident when I needed 1, and that is really nice. So the toggle is made with an axle, a plate, the handy-dandy chisel, and the hammer again. And we just need 1 of those. And then we need to make the pulverizer frame, which is a bit of a different beast. And we're going to need our saw. Here we go. And we'll just make as many as we can here, because we need to put these around like this. There we go. And then we need to put a piece of fat, and then a piece of rock that I forgot to get. Okay, as I was saying. So we need to have boards like this. You usually only need 6, but I wanted to make sure we had at least enough. There we go. Pulverizer frame. And now we need to go and make the pounder caps, because these are just wood. You can't really crush stone with just wood, right? So we need to go make some bronze pounder caps. And there are higher tier caps, but of course we don't have access to them yet, because bronze is our highest technology tier. We're also going to make 1 more hopper, because we need that for the output from the pulverizer, which will go over here. And we're also going to make a few more of the chute sections out of copper, because we need those both for feeding into the pulverizer as well as out of the quern over here. So let's go get our hammering on. Now the pounder caps are made right here, and they look similar to the chute sections, but they're a little bit smaller, and they have a flat bottom, so you don't want to split out the entire bottom here, just these first 4. So we're going to go ahead and make this. And again. And there we have 2 pounder caps, and we have 4 more chute sections. And we have our 3 plates for the hopper. Let's go put these in. Okay, so the first order of business is going to be getting some kind of system in here for moving all these things around and making sure we have a place to stand to access all of our goodies. Now, being way down here is fine, but I think I want to make a little mezzanine floor, and we'll make it just off of this door here, so when you come in there isn't just, you know, a leg-breaking drop. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I think I'm going to do this with the lower slabs again. That way we don't have to bother lighting the place. It'll also give us some ability to access some of the workings of the gears here. There we go. That looks pretty nice. Okay, now we can walk here. This is much better. So we need to have 2 gears coming off of here. Now the pulverizer, unlike the quern, is powered from the side, so if we have it coming out here, the pulverizer will need to be angled to one side, which might not be a bad thing. So I'm going to play with it, and we will see what I come up with here. And there we have a very slow but operational pulverizer. So we will need to wait for the wind to pick up before we can use it. I'm going to go ahead and get in all the infrastructure bits, like the copper tubing and hoppers and such, and we will come back when we have some nice wind. Okay, it is a windy day, or windy moment of a day. So I'm running over here to grab the alum, and we're going to throw this into our pulverizer. So we have our input chest here. We're going to go ahead and drop this in. And as you can see, it gets put into here from our chest through the tube, where the pounder caps crush it into, well, dust, and then they pop out this side and fall into the hopper. Now, this machine is a good deal more reliable at making sure the output gets into the hopper, but it does sometimes end up sitting on this edge here. So we'll want to sit here and hang out with it until it's done. And just like with the quern, you do not want to walk away and leave the area and let the chunk unload while this is working, because it can result in your items never actually making it into the hopper. So make sure you're at least in the area working on your house or digging a hole or what have you. Don't leave the area. So we now have 24 alum, and what we can do with this is we can also go and crush up some of the cinnabar, which is here. Let's crush up a good chunk of this, because we're going to need a lot of it eventually, I think. Yeah. Smush that red dust up. Of course, the reality is we wouldn't want to be anywhere near this thing while it's working, because Cinnabar is a mercury sulfide salt compound. I think it's a salt, technically. And, yep, it's really poisonous. It's really, really poisonous. You do not want to be breathing these fumes in or this dust. It's real bad. But this is a game, so we can breathe it all we want. Alright, our cinnabar is crushed. Let's get in here. And let's just make enough dye to do what we want to do with this red stuff. We need 2 pieces of red cloth, which is 4 liters of dye. Oh, this works out pretty great, because 4 liters of diluted alum and 1 piece of crushed cinnabar turns into 4 red dye. So that's going to work out really well, because we don't have a whole lot of alum to go around. So in theory, we should be able to put in 8 of these. There we go, diluted alum. And then 2 of these. There we go, red dye. And now all we need is some fabric. We also need 2 pelts, and I'm already curing 2 of those, so those should be ready by the time this dye is finished with our fabric. So let's go ahead and we're going to put in, there we go, 2 in you and 2 in you. And we'll come back in 8 hours and we will have our dyed fabric. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup and probably smith those pipes out, because I didn't get a chance to yet, and finish hooking things up, and I'll check back when that's all done. Okay, well, I did some fiddling here, and, well, we can get this guy to output to a hopper. These guys are a little more involved, and I decided the best choice for now is just to have them output all into individual chests, and that's because the single-angled chutes can never go horizontally. They always must go either down from above or down from below. I think Dauron has a change for the next version where there's going to be a tool where you can rotate these as opposed to being stuck with their initial orientations. So we're going to wait for that, because while we could put something together that puts everything into one chest, the problem with it is that you end up using a lot more copper than you need, and I just kind of ran out of steam smithing copper ingots into chute sections. So we are going to leave that as it is for the time being. Now, our hides are nearly done curing, so we're going to head over here and we're going to just pick up all of our stuff that we need for making our new shirt. Oh, and they are done. Awesome. And it has been a few days. I went and mined some malachite just to keep our copper stocks high. And there we have everything we need to make our snazzy new shirt. Let's get to it. Go something like this, and then that. Yeah. Reindeer herder fur coat. Let's see how we look with that on. That's not bad. It doesn't go with the poncho, I don't think. Or this cape. I think I would want something else for my face and head. because these colors kind of clash. But I like that sort of splash of red and blue. And I think in the long run, we will find or make more clothing that will go well with this. And in the meantime, we'll just have our armor. And no one will know that we are wearing mismatched clothing. Now my plan for this is that in the winter I want to wear the heavier clothing, and I will keep it repaired up. In the summer, I will wear my hunter's coat and whatever other summer gear we have, or at least alternate gear that we have. And that way we don't have to spend so much linen and flax repairing all of our clothing. There is some other clothing we can make. I think we can get another 0.5 degrees on our shirt, and we will make that probably soon, but I want to make sure I have enough linen and twine for other things that I have planned down the line. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed our little adventure in building this pulverizer and in finding materials that we can pulverize with it. Today was kind of a big old mining mission more than anything else, because we'd already spent so much time setting up everything else for our windmill that we didn't have a whole lot to do as far as the pulverizer was concerned. We are still a little bit short of having all 4 hammers operational. We are short 1 piece of fat. So as soon as I get my hands on 1 more piece of fat, I can make 1 last angled gear, and we can get that running. Anyway, just a reminder that if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in a montage, please leave them in the comment section with the hashtag 20questions, and I will add them to my list. That is a wrap for this episode. As always, my name has been Kurazar. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.